Hi, this is Gabrielle Lichterman. Hi, this is Gabrielle Lichterman, founder of Hormonology and creator of the Hormone Horoscope. Today I have a different type of video. As hormonology has gotten more popular, people are kind of getting more interested in the person behind hormonology. And I don't blame them because why would you adopt a whole new lifestyle change, living in sync with your cycle, based on just one person's say so? So, I'm a health journalist and I always do my due diligence, so I completely understand. So, people want to know more about me. In fact, one fan, one fan offered to do my astrological chart just to get inside my head, but that's not necessary. I'm going to create a few videos that explain a little bit about me, so you can get to know me a little bit more, and that'll help fill out hormonology a little bit more for you. So I'm doing this at home. I think there's a storm brewing. I've got dogs running around. I've got a husband teaching guitar. So expect a few interruptions, but I'm going to keep going anyway. I'm not using a script. I don't ever use a script. I do have talking points just in case I forget a few important things I want to say to you. But like most things, I just like to get it out to you without any polish or script. I just want to just genuinely send you this message. Okay, so I asked my husband, how should I start this? How should I get into talking about me? It's really not something I like talking about. I don't do selfies. I don't like talking about myself. Here comes the rains, probably followed by thunder and lightning. We're just going to keep going. He recommended I start with a story. So that's where I'm going to start. The story of hormonology. Now, on my website and in interviews, I have explained how I started hormonology. It was in 1999, I know, a million years ago. I found a great study. I was a health journalist at the time, still am, and I was doing a little bit of research for an article, and I came across this study about how on high estrogen days, women prefer masculine-looking mates, and on lower estrogen days, they prefer feminine-looking partners, romantic partners. And that was kind of mind-blowing at the time because 1999, there wasn't a lot of activity on the internet. When you wanted to find information, you really still had to go to books, journals, etc. So this was just bubbling to the surface. And this was really the first time we'd heard, sort of in the mainstream. It didn't really make it to the mainstream, but it was the first time it bubbled up that there was something interesting how our hormones impacted us. So I immediately thought, okay, if there's this one study, I bet there's a lot more. And there were. I spent months, years really, researching journals and found hundreds, thousands of studies about how our hormones impact our moods, health, and behavior, which is now, as we know it, hormonology. Now, the part of the story that I have never shared is what happened between making this discovery about our hormones and today, sort of how hormonology began. In 1999, like I said, I found this first study and I did a lot of research. Um, and for the next few years, really, I researched this and cobbled together um, a book, a draft of a book. And in 2005, this book was published. This is my book, 28 Days, What Your Cycle Reveals About Your Love Life, Moods, and Potential. I did not choose the title. I wouldn't have picked 28 days because I know a menstrual cycle is just an average of 28 days, but other people have longer and shorter days. But as I would soon learn in this process, you do not have control over everything when you publish a book. In 2005, my book was published, and it was then translated into several languages. Here's just two. Korean, Japanese, was also Italian and Spanish, I believe. I thought for sure hormonology and my book were going to be an overnight success. I mean, like New York Times bestseller. I was like picking out fine china and like new furniture. I was convinced that the world was going to embrace hormonology because it was just so practical. oh my gosh, now you know which days of your cycle you're going to be high energy and which days you're going to be low energy, which days your memory is going to be sharpest and you're going to be learning fastest, and which days, okay, you might have a little bit of, verbal flubs. Just as a side note, I'm recording this during my week 3, so you might actually notice that my cadence and my energy is a little lower, and that's due to rising progesterone. Progesterone is a sedating hormone already, so it's already mellowing you out. But research shows that rising progesterone interferes with verbal ability. You'll hear more ums and ahs for me. It might be a little bit more difficult for me to remember words I want to say, which is why I have these talking points. So in any case, that's just one point of interest. But how handy is that to know, right? Because I know I'm in week 3 and progesterone is going to have this impact on my energy and my verbal skills. I prepare. I know, look, I'm making this video despite my hormonal challenges. I'm overcoming them. In any case, I thought, oh my gosh, this stuff is so handy, right? Everybody's going to love this. It's going to be a bestseller. That is not exactly what happened. The world did not embrace hormonology as I predicted. Funny enough, the woman who shows women how to predict their days based on their cycle did not predict the success of this correctly. I laugh because I know what's coming up next. It was very difficult to get media attention. I didn't realize that talking about menstrual cycles was icky. I didn't realize it was an off-putting topic. That was my own naivete. But I also didn't anticipate the response from feminists. There was quite pushback. They basically were very upset that I was writing anything about how hormones impact our women's health and potential. So I have this one quote that I keep with me from from an article that appeared in a very popular pro-female online publication. This is what the reporter asks after finding out about hormonology. What is the best day in my cycle to hit Gabrielle Lichterman over the head with some of the more advanced texts on the biological stereotyping and marginalization of women? Ouch. Pretty much, I was told I was setting back womankind 100 years by pointing out how our hormones were impacting us. That was really upsetting to me because I'm very pro-female, being a female, and I'm really into science. And I was just sharing knowledge that made our lives practical. So that was disappointing. So the book did not fly off the shelves, but one thing that didn't help it fly off the shelf was the fact that my publishing company then yanked it from bookstores suddenly and unexpectedly, shortly after it was published. Back in 2005, Amazon.com wasn't the big bookseller it was today. There weren't a lot of online bookselling retailers. So getting yanked from actual stores was really hard. But then I learned something really super important about getting your book published. Your publisher owns the rights to your book. And that means you can't distribute your book. You can't repackage it and sell it yourself as a self-published book. They own the rights. That was shocking because that meant everything I just spent 6 years researching and writing was now sitting in a dusty shelf, not being shared. It was kind of traumatizing, I have to say, and that taught me a big lesson in controlling hormonology, controlling the message, having full control. I got the rights back. I actually requested them back. The publisher did give them back to me. I was very, very lucky. Most authors don't get their rights back. I did get mine back, and that's when I realized, okay, I'm never having anybody impact Hormonology's message again. They won't be able to control it or hold it or hide it or change it. And that's why ever since then, Hormonology has been entirely self-funded. It begins and ends with me right now. In the future, I'm hoping to have a staff and make this a full-time venture. But right now, Hormonology is Gabrielle Lichterman. Um, and while that's a little scary for some because you're thinking, okay, well, how can I be sure I'm getting the right information um, that I'm now living by, and which I totally understand. One reason you can rest assured is because I spent decades, literally decades, as a women's health reporter, women's health journalist. So I know how to do the research. I've interviewed the experts. I've been doing this a very, very long time. Another reason why you can be happy that it really is only me is because I also have a crazy amount of ethics and principles. I have been told again and again, sell sell user data from the apps, uh, make surveys, find out more about your fans, and sell that data, share that data, sell their emails, from the newsletters. I've been told over and over, make money this way, this way, this way. I don't believe in it. I believe in 100% privacy. I think our data, I think everybody can agree, our data has been shared enough. This is private. This is personal. I don't need to make $1 million. I need to get this message out. Losing Hormonology when they yanked my book was the biggest lesson I ever learned. The bigger point, the biggest mission is just to get the information out. So the good news is because it is me and there's no board that wants to make money, and there's no marketing department that's all about making money. It all starts and ends with me. I get to decide that your data is not shared, it's private. The downside, of course, is that it is just me. And after all these years, I still do work a full-time job as a women's health journalist. I have multiple deadlines every week, and so I am competing with myself for time. I work the equivalent of two full-time jobs. It's, my regular job that actually funds hormonology and hormonology. And sometimes um, the spreading the word part of hormonology suffers. I make time to write ebooks, do the apps, do the website, do content, do newsletters, but sometimes the marketing side does suffer because there's just not enough of my time. And that's where you come in. This is where my fans have been amazing. People who have found Hormonology either through accident or referral or fate or just an online search have been amazing in sharing this information with their friends, family, coworkers, and students and other people. And it's you. You're my outreach team, and I really appreciate that because you feel as passionate about this mission as I do to share this information. That's it. I actually just added a page to my website, my myhormonology.com website, that helps you share all the tools I have with others. The ebooks, the apps, etc. And it's all free. Everything is free. You can print out ebooks. There's the free app. Yes, there's the pro app too, which costs $1.99, but there will always be a free app, a free version that gives you also the information that you need. So on myhormonology.com, there's now a page called Join My Mission, and it gives you all the tools and lists all the tools that you can share with other people to make it easier to spread the word. So how do I want to close this? I want to say that in future videos, I'm going to talk a little bit more about me personally so that you can get more of an idea of, who Gabrielle Lichterman is, so you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm even doing this. But for now, let's close this up. This has been a long enough video. I think I've tired you out. I just wanted you to understand where this is coming from and how hormonology evolved and the important role you play. It's so important you have no idea. But I hope this video helps you. Almost made it through the entire video with that dog. I hope this video helps you appreciate the important role you play. Thank you. I really appreciate everything you do to help spread hormonology.